This is your Facebook page. Go ahead.
All right, we're back with part 2 because part 1 went like that. You guys have amazing questions, by the way. Thank you for asking us. So, where are we at, Jeremy?
Let me jump on so I can confirm we have this the way we want. It's there. Perfect. Okay, guys, this is Jeremy McGilvrey with thesecrettosuccess.com, and I was just on my Facebook page, and I think Mark Zuckerberg with Facebook only gives us 30 minutes of live feed. Maybe we can send a message, or do I have friends at Facebook that can give me a little bit longer? Because there were quite a few questions that we weren't able to answer. We finished with, how do I get paid what I'm worth? And I think Manny answered that phenomenally. If you want to hear that answer and several other ones, you can go to my Facebook page. I tagged my name in this link. You can jump on over there and you'll hear our first session of this. Jessica, Lino, thank you guys so much for coming back to our feed. Okay, I want to jump into these questions because this 30 minutes will probably go by quick again. And Don wants to know, he doesn't have enough working capital. I have vision, I have the plan, I have the knowledge and the experience, but Don wants to figure out how can he get working capital.
Well, there's a couple ways. So if you have no money and you want to start a business, there's a couple things you're going to have to do. One, right, you go to the bank, ask for a loan, you ask for family and friends, and hopefully you don't burn them and you pay them back. Or you just start with nothing and you do the work and you go out there and get your first client. Let's just say, for example, my coaching business. If I want to start a coaching business, I have zero money. I get on the phone, start making calls, and start till someone says, yes, I want you as my coach, and then I give them my fee schedule, and then they hire me. Now I've got money to now invest into marketing. So sometimes you just got to start with what you got, and if you got no money, then you got to get on the phone, and you got to go to networking events, and you got to do things that cost nothing to generate income. But don't use the excuse, I don't have no money. I have this great plan and vision, but I don't have any money, so I can't start. Believe me, you can start with no money.
First, thank all of you guys for jumping back on. Obviously, this was valuable information because so many of you are already back on our second stream. But, you know, Mark Cuban says, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, that you're a fool if you borrow money to start a company.
Yeah.
I disagree with that. Maybe Manny will disagree with me. It takes money to make things happen. And sometimes it doesn't have to be an extraordinary amount. But if you have a plan, Dawn, as you said you do, you have the vision, you have the plan, you have the knowledge. If you have all of that, I promise you the capital will follow. If you articulate your plan, if you write it down, you show your customers, and let me give you a tip, everybody that's watching right now. Here's the one thing every business owner must do. It's my pause for dramatic.
Okay.
You must find your unique selling proposition and your unfair advantage. Why should they do business with you, and what makes you better than everybody else? If you articulate those two things, come to me and maybe I'll fund you. But what makes you the best?
Wait, maybe we'll fund it,
there
right?
You go. There you go.
But
so,
you know, I'm sorry to jump in. Here's another thing. I can't just make a blanket statement either, because I was talking about professional services. So if you're like an attorney, an accountant, a speaker, a coach, where your time is the commodity and that's what you're selling, it doesn't take money. It takes phone calls and networking and effort. But now if I'm going to open up a retail location or a restaurant where I need to put walls in place and it takes real hard cash, then yes, then I can't just blanket the statement and say you can't have any money to start a business. In that business model, it absolutely requires capital up front. So you find investors or people with beliefs that you're equally yoked with, and that believe in your products, your goods, your services, and are willing to roll a dice with you. So, you know, let me just retract that. Some businesses do require money, but some of them, if you're in the professional services industry, it requires your time and effort.
Thank all of you guys for all the amazing comments. People about developing their brand lane. Thank you. The viewers are raising. We're so thankful we're able to add value to people's lives. You know, they say that the largest difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is successful people do what unsuccessful people won't do. Right. It's 8:30, 9 o'clock on a Tuesday. We're going up on a Tuesday, if that's how it goes.
On a Tuesday.
And we're at the office, we're working, and we're adding value to people's lives. I said earlier, I don't use social media to impress people. I use it to impact them.
Right.
And Manny, thank you so much for taking time at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday night to offer people ideas and suggestions that will help them grow their business and live the life of their dream.
It's my pleasure. We have the same work hours, whatever it takes, really.
That's exactly right. Alex Steele. Alex, thank you so much for sharing so much of my comment, all the content I put out. Alex Steele has a window tint business. He said he was the very first window tint shop in San Antonio back in 1982, back when every car dealer came to him. Now the new car dealers have their own tinters. Used car lots don't tint their cars, so I'm out hustling work 7 days a week, but people don't think about tinting their windows in the winter. So it's really seasonal. It's hard these days, not to mention there's over 100 tint shops in the area around us. I trained all of my competition. So I think, Alex, he was asking about seasonal. And I'm sure there are certain businesses that are seasonal. How do you create something maybe more sustainable?
So I know Alex. So and since Alex, you gave this to us publicly, I'm gonna beat you up a little bit, right? I want to dissect this because there's so many things I want to comment about this. One, you've been in the business since 1982, so you should be a multimillionaire in tinting. You should have every other 100 tint shops in town. You should own 80% of them, right? So something went wrong, and but I'm going to show you how to get it back on track, right? First, it's not about being outstanding; it's about standing out. So don't worry about the 100. You know, what are you doing differently that the other 100 aren't? So everyone else is tinting windows. Maybe you're tinting windows and washing the car. Or maybe you're tinting windows and adding some other value, concierge added service. And you're standing out from your competition, so you're not viewed the same. So yeah, the new car dealerships have theirs. And you can't make a blanket statement, every used car lot doesn't tint their cars, because that's not true. I know used car lots that do tint their cars. And it doesn't matter that it's winter. My friend Carl's also into tinting business. He tinted a BMW the other day. And it's cold outside, right? So quit giving yourself excuses of why you can't do it, and figure out reasons why you can do it. Because Alex, I know you. You're a smart man. So start thinking about how do you rise above the competition. And in fact, I don't even believe in competition, because I know my clients are so loyal to me. I'm not worried about whether, in fact, if everybody else is doing this, I'm over here doing that. I can tell you that. So how do you rise above the crowd, right? What do you do differently in your tint company that no one else is doing? And start promoting that added value instead of why you're exactly the same as everybody else. I hope that makes sense to you, right?
Wow.
I don't know. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. But you know me, Alex, so you can send me an email if you need me to go a little deeper in that for you.
No, Alex, I just want to tell you I appreciate you. You know, a lot of people don't understand that asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of wisdom. Right. Not a single one of us can achieve our dreams and our goals by ourselves. And if we can, then our goals and dreams are not big enough. They're not something that will ever leave a dent in this world. And every one of us should wake up with a zeal about getting an opportunity to go out and impact whatever it is we have a chance to do. Because there's so many people out there that have maybe issues where they don't have a chance to live their dreams. Every one of you guys watching, you do. Tomorrow's a brand new day, a brand new chance. The slate's clean to start over again. Every single day is that.
Absolutely.
Carrie wants to ask, her biggest business struggle is taking risk. So, Manny, what would you say to people that may be not versed to taking risk when it comes to their business, to playing it safe?
Well, you can't play it safe and succeed in business. In fact, right now, as Jeremy and I are sitting in here trying to, give life to your business and give you some new ideas, I can tell you there's other speakers and coaches in other markets doing the same thing, thinking how do we get to their clients and get a bigger piece of the pie? What risks do we have to take to be more competitive? So if you're not willing to take a risk, I don't know that you should be in business. Because with risk comes reward. And that doesn't mean a dumb risk. You can be calculated with your risk. You can be thought out. It could be well thought out execution of a plan that's risky. But you have to take risks, because with risk comes reward. If you play it safe, I can assure you there's other people in your market that are not going to play it safe. They are going to take the risk. And then you're going to look at them and say, wow, they have all the business. And the fact is, no, they just took the risk. That's why they have the business. So get comfortable being uncomfortable, and take some. And you don't have to take a 20-foot leap of faith here. Take a 1 foot or a 2 foot or 5 foot, something that's manageable for you right now, before you can take the bigger leap of faith. But make no mistake, if you're in business, you have to take some risk, or you're going to be out of business.
I've always believed. First, I want to say thank you guys so much for jumping on and giving us an opportunity to speak some of our knowledge into you. We hope that we're helping. We hope we're giving you some guidance. I see a ton of questions coming up in the comment section. Jason, thank you so much for watching. We're probably going to defer those questions to another live cast. Maybe we'll do this next week again. But I want to stick to the questions that we have right here. If you would, though, if you do have a business question that you would like Manny or I or both of us to answer, drop it in the comment section, and we'll both go through and make certain that we put these on another piece of paper like all of these questions are, and we'll answer them in a very, hopefully, before next week is up. I want to discuss risk a little bit, and I want to tell you this. If you don't take a chance, you don't have a chance.
Right.
Risk is everywhere. Jim Rome tells us life is so risky that you're not going to make it out alive. So you're going to have to take chances in life. You're going to have to take your foot off first base in order to steal second base, is what everybody says. So you'll never do anything significant in life by constantly playing it safe. You're so welcome, Cynthia. Thank you for watching. You've got to take those chances. You've got to learn to be uncomfortable, as Manny says. You've got to take risk in your business, because the bottom line is what I said at the onset. If you don't take a chance, you don't have a chance. And you've got to be willing to get out of your comfort zone. And they say, maybe it was Zig Ziglar, they said the enemy of great is good. And that's because a lot of people have things good and they're comfortable. But you've got to be willing to risk your success in order to keep your success.
Yes, and can I just add one more thing? I just want to go back to Alex for 1 second, because this just entered my body, right? My thought is, because I beat you up a little bit, so I want to help you with a quick strategy. Quit competing at $99 tents as everybody else. Maybe you should be $299. Instead of doing 100 cars a year, make the same money with doing 40 cars. And maybe your tent is different. Maybe it's 3M or the top of the line, top of the market, and start working with exotics, with Ferraris and Lambos and Rolls Royces and ZR1s. So think about, maybe that's a way of standing out, is not competing at the same level, is actually raising your price point, but adding the value that comes with that, with the best film on the market. So that's just a thought for you, something to think about. Maybe you have the best film now, but I don't know. But I wanted to give you something good and not just beat you up with those questions you asked earlier.
Thank you for jumping on, Kristen Oliver and Lionel Vasquez. Yeah, Good to Great is one of my all-time favorite books. He says that was from Jim Collins, and he has Built to Last. He has How the Mighty Fall. If I could give you one book to read right now, it would probably be How the Mighty Fall, because I think Jim Collins says in that book, what is it? How does it go?
I haven't read it, or I'd help you out here. So that's probably one book I've missed.
Oh, here it is. One of the keys to success. One of the keys to success is understanding how it can be lost, and boy, is that important for all of us. Jason has a question when it comes to business, when it comes to committing to his goals, committing to his business.
So commitment is, it's quit making a great commitment. I'm going to tell you, this is what, the 26th of January, 26 days into the new year. People who made all these great commitments January 1st have already fallen. In fact, they're already putting jokes on Facebook. January was a test month. It's not a test month. They made a great commitment, but they weren't in shape for it. It's like if you never lost 5 pounds and then you go and say, I'm going to lose 55 pounds, you're not in shape for it. So don't make the great commitment no more. This is where people fail. Make a decision. You know, the heavy man goes up the stairs because the elevator's broke, and he gets up there and he's sweating. He's, just soaked. And he doesn't make a great commitment that changed his life. He makes a decision. He says, I don't want to feel like this anymore. And every day I'm going to do something different. Like, I'm going to eat better. I'm not going to eat fried. I'm going to eat grilled. I'm not going to eat fast food. I'm going to eat better food. and then give yourself time to get the results you need. For example, if you've seen The Biggest Loser, they have like 200 pounds to lose, right? And if you're losing 200 pounds and you look in the mirror and you do everything right, you eat perfect, you don't drink sodas, you don't eat candy, and you lose 20 pounds the first month. When you look in the mirror, you still think you need 200 to lose. You don't really see nothing. But month 4 or 5, when you've lost 60 pounds, 80 pounds, 100 pounds, the invisible becomes visible. So when you make the great commitment and you don't see the visible, give it a chance because it's invisible. Give it a chance to be visible through your consistent action because you made a decision to change your life, not some great commitment that falls or fades because it gets a little hard or you don't see the instant result. Trust the process. Fall in love with the process, not the results of the process.
I love that, Jason Roberts. Thank you for jumping on. You're one decision away from being successful.
Yes.
Manny hit the nail on the head by trusting the process. Success is found in our daily agenda, as John Maxwell says. And I think the number one thing that separates successful from unsuccessful when it comes to their business and their goals is people who are committed and the people who are not committed. The people who are committed, they don't care if it's cold. They don't care if it's raining. They don't care if they don't feel well. These are committed people. But the people that aren't committed, they will come up with every excuse in the world to not do something. So make sure your commitment's on point. Let me jump in again. We have a lot of more questions, and I think we're falling behind. Another question came in. How do you build self-confidence?
By doing the work. By doing the work, sticking with your action plan and allowing the invisible become visible. So self-confidence just comes through trial and error. The better you do, it's because the more you're doing of it. If you make 10 sales calls and you don't make any sales, next time you make 10, you may get 1. So now you're 1 in 10. But after you do it 100 times, you're no longer 1 in 10. You're 1 in 8 maybe because you're getting better. So self-confidence comes through trial and error. Just do the work.
I think self-confidence also comes from rebounding from setbacks, from going through some difficulty and being able to tell ourselves, if I went through that, if I handled that type of adversity, what else can I do? It takes a lot of self-confidence to achieve your goals. And one of the most important things I teach people when it comes to goal setting is I have them write down the 5 things they've done in their life that they're the most proud of. And I have them reflect on what they've already done, and that gives them the confidence to what they need to go do. So I think when it comes to self-confidence, spend some time thinking about things that you've achieved in your life that no matter what, nobody can take away from you. And I think that will help you with your self-confidence. Let me jump into a business question. What advice would you give someone who just graduated from college and wants to start a business?
What advice would I give them? It is clarity in your vision, stay consistent, and stay congruent. So, I mean, if you really want to start a business, make sure you're passionate about that business. Make sure it's what you want to breathe, eat, sleep, die for, right? Because you can't just say, I'm going to go start a retail store. I'm going to go start a shoe company. I'm going to go start whatever business. Let it be something that you love, and then make sure that you're willing to put in the work. This is a great mistake. A lot of people, they don't start a business and lose the business. A lot of people say, well, I don't have the money to start a business. What they need is action. Make sure you're willing to do the actions that you need to do on a daily basis to sustain that business. And remember, it goes through seasons. Sometimes, a business goes in 3 phases, from infancy to what I'm going to say, growing pains to maturity. So in that infancy, you've got to grind. And if you're not willing to do that, then go work for corporate America, because that might be a better fit for you. But if you're going to start a business, you have to have a work ethic. If you have $1 million dream, I say this all the time, have $1 million work ethic. So you have to have a work ethic to make sure that business is sustained.
The first piece of advice I would give someone who is fresh out of college and wants to start a business is make sure you're building relationships. Make sure you're building your network. Make sure people know who you are. I'm giving a talk tomorrow morning, and I'll give away one of the secrets. I'm going to talk about why businesses fail. A lot of people fail because they don't get enough attention.
Right.
If people don't know who you are, they can't buy from you. Right. One of the greatest things social media has done for all of us, as long as we're using it the right way, is it's given us the opportunity to get massive attention. Yes. And if you want to stay in business, you better make doggone certain that people know who you are. Thank you so much, Alex, for jumping on. Let me read your question real quick. How can you tell if someone is genuine or just using your resources and contacts? Manny, let's. Do you know Alex Hernandez?
I do know Alex. So the way, listen, we're known from the fruit of our labor, right? So I don't tend to give my contacts away unless I have a great relationship and trust people, and I've had a long-term relationship. So if people are just coming to you and they just want from you, they tend to not be too genuine or interested in you. So Alex, be very reserved on who you give your time and energy to, your resources to, your contacts to. Relationship should be about a win-win. It doesn't always have to be equal, but you can't feel like, if you already feel someone's using you, you're probably right.
Sure.
Right? So you probably time to get the scissors and cut that off. If someone genuinely, feel it in their spirit. If someone genuinely comes to you and says, I need help, I need a contact or a resource, or could you help me? You can feel it in their words, and then make the decision to help them. But if someone just is using you for names and contacts and because they're too lazy to do the work, then you just need to cut that relationship off.
Thank you, Robert, for your comments so much. You know, Alex, one of the things I like to look at is who are the people that they're associating with. One of my favorite quotes, and I know you guys will get so tired of me giving you all of them, but Colin Powell says you can tell more about a person by the friends they choose. Or I'm sorry, I messed it up. He says that a mirror reflects a person's face, but who they truly are is reflected by the people they associate with.
Yes.
And I think that the people that we allow around us, the people we're taking pictures on Facebook with, the people that we're keeping in our circle, says a whole lot about who we are. I tell people, I did a video the other day. I said when I get a friend request from someone, I'll go look at who their friends are, who our mutual friends are, and that will help me decide if I'm going to accept their friend request or not. So you can tell a whole lot about people by who they surround themselves with, and maybe that can be a giveaway on if you want to do business with that person. Let's read Gabriel's real quick. If you are starting something that no one has ever done, but you did your homework regarding the value you bring, how do you find a role model to follow as not to fail by many mistakes along the way? I'm sorry, it's not showing me the rest of the comments.
Well, let me do this. I know Gabriella, right? And we're good friends. She's done work with the furry kid and stuff. Sometimes you may be the leader of the pack. If no one's ever done it and you're first to that category, you are the role model. So the mistakes are going to have to come from you. You're going to have to do the trial and error that other people who follow you are going to learn from. But there's also almost nothing new under the sun. So someone's probably done something similar, even if yours looks a little bit different. So whether you Google or go to the library or find tools or resources that you can follow. And by the way, just get some ideas. But remember, part of being a business, and Gabriella, is that you bring something unique to the marketplace. You don't want to be like everybody else. You want to bring, it's kind of like Alex. If he's doing the same thing everyone else is doing, he's not competitive. So maybe you've got to do something, and you're the blazer of that path. You're going to lead the pack. There is no one to follow, so you will have to make the mistakes. The goal is to minimize those mistakes because you're in the early stages of your business and you can't afford to make a lot of mistakes. So this is where you have to take risk, but you have to take those calculated risks.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Emily. Kelly Hamilton, don't you ever leave those emojis again on my timeline. I'm just messing with you. Thank you guys so much. A question came in from someone saying that marketing is hard. I don't know where to start. What do you suggest? Kind of a broad question, Manny, but what do you think of marketing? And this is for businesses, obviously.
So first, marketing's not hard. So if you're already telling yourself it's hard, that's the biggest problem there is. There's only 10 ways to market any business. People don't realize there's only 10 things you can do to grow your business. And in May, when we get together for our event, I'll teach you the 10. I'll make a promise to teach you the 10 in great detail. But let me give you 2 right now. Low cost, high impact. One is networking. So, and by the way, if you don't market, you're invisible. Please know that. If you don't market, no one knows that. You could have the best cakes, shoes, whatever on the market, but if you don't market, you're invisible. So always be marketing. I spend 20, and I'm going to say, successful in my space. So I'm always marketing. I spend 20% of my day marketing. If you have 0 clients, you should be spending 100% of your day marketing. If you have clients, then you should spend a fraction of your day, but at the minimum 20% of your day, and always be marketing. 2 strategies I promise. One is networking events. The chamber, the Christian chamber, the Greater Chamber, the Hispanic chamber, Texas Young Professionals, SOBA, Stone Oak Business Association. There's a ton of areas where people will gather together with different businesses that you can show up and share what you do and hope someone's there's looking for the solution that you can solve for them, right? And the second is your database. Circle around to your friends, to your contacts in the business community, and ask them this question: who do you know? Who do you know that could benefit from what I have to offer? Alex, great question. Go down your client base and say, who do you know who could benefit from an amazing tent like I did for you? And let them give you 1 or 2 or 3 leads. So between networking and your database, that's 2 strategies that cost you almost nothing except maybe a lunch that you can drum up business with.
I love the open-ended question, who do you know? I think too often we ask limiting questions out there. I think when it comes to marketing, people bring me business plans to look over on a maybe not daily but weekly basis. And the largest hole I see in most business plans is their marketing plan. If you're a new business, prospecting is the lifeblood of your business.
Yes.
Here's a news flash. If you're an old business, prospecting is the lifeblood of your business. You must always be prospecting, because eventually you're going to have a customer one day or a prospect one day that's going to tell you, no, I don't need your services. And you know what you're going to say to that? That's great. If I can be a benefit in the future, let me know. And you're going to go on to the next prospect. Your pipeline should be busting full. If your pipeline is full because you know that prospecting is the lifeblood of your business, it doesn't matter what types of rejection, it doesn't matter what types of atrocities might happen in the marketplace, seasonal or not, but always, always be prospecting. Kelly, let's read your question. Most efficient way to market for non-salespeople. Most efficient way to market for non-salesy people.
So I think what Kelly's trying to say, and I also know Kelly, there's so many great friends on here that I just love. So I know Kelly, right, and I know what she does. She's a writer, so she's not really a salesperson. So what she's wanting to do is, how do I sell my services when I'm not really a salesy people? I'm not comfortable picking up the phone and making cold calls. You're going to have to still prospect, Kelly. So it could be sending maybe an email campaign to publications where you can demonstrate your writing skills and you can show your work. But so you may not call it salesy, you may call it presenting, but whatever you want to call it, you still have to present what you do, and you have to be able to verbalize what it is that you do so you can get more work to these other publications or these other magazines. So I would say in your case, maybe put an email campaign together, get to the best editors in the publishers in the country, and show them your work and let your work sell. Let your work speak for itself. It's like for a kid. I don't go out and sell sponsoring a kid. I just show the work, and then the work get to, well, man, I want to sponsor one of these kids. I don't have to sell. Let my work speak. And your work's amazing. Your writing's amazing.
Yes,
so let your work speak for you. But the world needs to see it. So put it in the hands of the people who are hiring, because they're always looking for writers. And there's new publications that pop up all the time. So let the work speak for you.
Someone commented, I didn't get a chance to answer it, I think on our last live feed just a few minutes ago, about a publication he wants to launch. Manny and I both can easily personally endorse Kelly Hamilton. She is articulate,
yes.
She is intelligent, she is detail-oriented, and you can't go wrong if you need someone to do writing for you. We only have a couple more minutes before they cut us off on this cast again, this live cast again. One of the last questions was how to better manage your time. And I know that Manny is an expert at time management, but here's what's going to happen. He's not going to answer this question tonight because we don't have enough time. He let the cat out of the bag a little bit, saying that we're going to collaborate and put an event together right here in San Antonio, and we're looking at the May time frame.
Yes.
What we want to do is we want to use our knowledge, our expertise, and we want to bring to you almost like a early halftime report of the year to make sure you're back on track, to make sure that you're dialed in with your objectives and you're crystal clear about what you're going to need to do to, again, make certain that you don't finish 2016 the same way you finished 2015. Manny, you're so welcome, Kelly. Thank you so much for jumping on. And you said you don't want to be pushy. You will never succeed if you're not pushy. You've got to push somebody. You've got to force people to make decisions. And that comes with getting out of your comfort zone a little bit too.
And Kelly, just also don't think that every salesperson's pushy. That's you know, a lot of people say, oh, they get the used car mentality. Every salesman's the same way. In fact, the best salesmen in the world aren't even extroverts; they're introverts because they have the ability to listen, which the extroverts don't have. You know, as good of ability to do that. So sometimes you can be a lady, which you are, and present your work. You don't have to be a pushy lady or a loud lady
10 seconds,
to
Manny.
present it. So more leads, more sales, more business coming this May. Let us know what weekend works for you in May, and I think we're going to do something amazing.
That's it.